And now, Salisbury Center, this is the main event of the evening. Making his way to the ring and fighting out of the red corner, it's Csoka.
Csoka, 5'10", although I will say, I feel like he's taller than 5'10", right?
Oh, he's well taller than 5'10".
Right, yeah, he's like definitely over 6 feet. Fighting out of Kaizen MMA, you'll see Ahmet K. Reddy in his corner, one of the best to do it in the area. Pro fighters, fought for all of us here at Cagezilla, and one of the best. Tell me about John. He's one of your teammates.
John has an Olympic-level pedigree background Taekwondo in his younger years, and his son there, Preston, who will also be in the corner, is a part of this like young generation coming up at Kaizen MMA. It's Preston, Cole, and Nima's son, Nima Azahari, the head coach at Kaizen's, Ryan. These three kids are some of the most technically proficient strikers I know, and they're all younger than me, and I'm worried about the day when I'm heading downhill and they're at the peak.
Oh man, dude, I get it. I'm always watching every day. The calendar clicks by, and I'm like, am I gonna lose my edge today? Like, man, I hope I can keep it up for a little bit longer. But I'll tell you, speaking a little bit longer, I look at John, I'm like, well, there's hope for me to compete well into my 40s and 50s. I mean, this guy's been doing it for a long, long time. And it seems like he's improving too. He's taking the game seriously with Ahmet.
He is. He's also. You'll notice he does stand differently than most of the fighters we'll see here tonight with that Taekwondo background. Now, this will be the first fight I've seen in these rings without shin guards with him. So we're going to see if those whippy kicks that he has can be a little more effective without that padding in between him and the opponent.
Yeah, great point. And we'll throw it to Chris for the other introduction.
And his opponent, making his way to the ring and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Mike Pendlebury.
Mike Pendlebury, 5'10", fighting out of Disciple MMA, the Disciple's fourth fighter of the evening. And, we've seen Mike now compete at Cagezilla and TCB pretty frequently. He's worked his way down. He was north of 200 pounds. Now I think he's looking very lean here, working his way to 165, maybe a potential 155er at Cagezilla sometime soon. He really does a little bit of everything, some Muay Thai, some MMA, Jiu-Jitsu. He's a man who really gets out there, and you got a lot of support here from Disciple MMA.
He is also an absolute dog.
Got a lot of dog in him.
I've seen Mike in an MMA fight that made me tired.
Yeah.
I'm honest, like, MMA, the hardest part of MMA is switching sports and the energy systems required. And against an opponent much younger than him, as well conditioned as he was, kept pace and broke him. Mike is a dog for breaking a man.
Yeah, and he doesn't stop. As tired as he looks, as much as you're like, oh, I think this guy's almost done, he finds a way to battle back and really take the initiative. And it's going to be an interesting fight here because he's got to be careful. John hits very hard, and he's very dangerous. But if you could manage to pressure him, you could put him in a lot of trouble. So, if Mike can force his influence, that's where I think he's going to have the most success. But we will go ahead and throw it down to Chris Fuller for the final introduction of the evening.
Salisbury Center, once again, this is the main event of the evening. This bout is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the TCB 165-pound division. It is brought to you by our friends at ESB Advertising. Bottom line results through memorable and measurable advertising. And the Shop Gym, with locations in Manassas and Ashburn, the powerlifting mecca of Northern Virginia. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman has been fighting for TCB for as long as I can remember, and I am honored to be calling his last fight of his career this evening. Standing 5'10" and weighing in at 165 pounds, fighting out of Kaizen MMA, it's Csoka! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'10" and weighing in at 163 pounds, fighting out of Disciple MMA, it's Mike Pendlebury! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, This is the main event of the evening. It is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the TCB 165-pound division. It is brought to you by ESB Advertising and the Shop Gym. And your referee is Angel Ortiz.
Yeah, you're seeing John definitely be at least 6 foot.
Yeah, he's tall. I mean, so is Mike. They're both, I think, I've stood next to him.
So, Charles, this is a day we never thought we'd see coming. The final fight of John Csoka's career. This guy is a machine.
How many fights has he had? Do you know?
A lot. I've called a lot of his fights, man, and you know he's such a nice guy, and always he doesn't always have the best luck in the ring, but he sure goes in there and battles hard, man, and it's just been an honor to call his fights.
Immediate forward pressure from Mike.
Yeah, I liked kind of that jab cross there he threw to get on the way in, the jab cross. And interesting that we're seeing this type of heavy clinching from John as well.
I like John using that underhook to turn, almost a judo-esque use of his hips.
Ooh.
So in a situation like that, Liam, who gets the score for the knockdown?
Neither. More neutral, just because they both kind of fall.
Okay.
Oh, man. That landed, but I'll tell you, Mike Pendlebury looks like he's made out of metal right there.
Oh, we've seen Pendlebury before, Charles. He is extremely tough. This is not the guy I would want to have to fight for my last fight.
Oh, big punch there. Now, one thing we're seeing a little bit from John here is he's really throwing to the winds, and then it looks like he's letting himself lose his balance when Mike gets a little too close.
The one thing you always have to look out for, and Liam, I'm sure you probably know this too, is the head kick from John Csoka.
Absolutely, those hips are devastating, and the spins for someone who's been fighting as long as him, that spin comes incredibly quick and is sharp. It's trained since his youth.
And he can also get that foot up so high. You know, we've been out at bars and stuff, and I've seen him kick solo cups off of guys' heads, like guys my size. He is extremely limber, especially for his age.
And they're actually going to give that a standing 8 count there.
That standing 8 counts because John is just falling too readily, taking knees. He's seeing his falls as a way to exit the clinch right now. I don't know if that's intentful or if that's just reaction, but that's what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed it or not from up there, but it looked like John had a little limp. Something going on with that left leg.
And that was the end of the first round.
See how he does get, yeah, he's got a little limp there going on, Charles.
And they're going to get him back to the corner. Yep, yeah.
I wonder if it happened on that spin kick.
I'm not sure. It looked like the kick landed before it was really ready to be extended, and he went down after it.
Yeah, and he fell awkwardly. So
that was a good knee, though, to the body that got him to drop, but he did get up pretty quick there as well.
And even if the knee didn't damage him to the point of causing the fall, like it looked like he was falling and the knee landed, that's enough for Angel. And you see Angel even between rounds going over, he needs John to show him more. The only thing about John right now is as he's accepting pressure, especially boxing pressure, I don't like the reaction of cover and almost turn away at times. I like the clinching, but these reactions to being pressured need to show a bit more fight.
Yeah, that is a great point.
And I know you guys touched on it during the intros, but John Csoka, I'm looking at Preston over there in his corner. That is an impressive young man right there.
Oh, yeah, good calf kick there.
It's that knee that seems a little weak again. Yeah, Mike must have saw it too, because he's definitely going after it.
That's a good decision by John to start scooting out of that corner. Good check hook, good idea to clinch. Maybe relying on the ropes a little too much to hold him up, as we see there from the fall.
And one thing you don't see a lot in Muay Thai, or at least this level that I've noticed, is a lot of switch stances. Do you guys notice that? I noticed, like in MMA, if a guy sustains a leg injury, he'll switch stance, and so he's protecting that leg. But
we're getting a standing 8 count off a knee that looked like it landed to the head.
Oh.
Angel's calling it. Angel didn't like the response coming from him.
You know, honestly, I think that's the right move. You got to protect your fighter, and Angel knows what he's doing. And honestly, John was going down so quickly with everything that when he did go down this time, you know, it was like he was like, look, I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm going to call this fight. And I know he doesn't want that to be his last fight ever, but I really do think Angel, he knows the game and he made the right call.
Yeah, Angel had a look of real concern in his eye when he was talking to him. He still does.
Yeah, and he's going to have the doctor take a look. And that's, I mean, look, we have to be aware this is an amateur fight. This is not how John makes his living. And I know he's a competitor and he wants more out of it. But we got to do what's best for the athlete. And I think this was a very good call here from the team over there.
I'd like to also know if that was just too many times hitting the canvas, or if that's specific. There's something about his response to Angel where Angel did not feel safe putting that fighter back into combat.
It was definitely his response. That's what he was explaining to John after he stopped it. John was saying he was okay, and that's what Angel was saying, that he didn't get the response he was looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we're going to have the official scorecard handed to Chris right now, and he'll do our final decision of the evening. And we're going to take just a quick second here. It looks like there's a scorecard issue. Giving a shout out to the team over there at Disciple MMA. I was getting roasted by Scott and Adam. I don't know if I could give them any more compliments, though. I'm so complimentary because they do so much good work, so much fantastic stuff. And you see that in the product of athlete they develop and put out there. So hats off to the Disciple team, man. They had 4 fights tonight. They always perform. They always show out. They're here at Cagezilla. Our next event is going to be October 14th. Be sure to tune in. It'll be a packed night of fights. And it's been a great one here as we throw it down to Chris for the official decision.
Salisbury Center referee Angel Ortiz has called a stop to the action with 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the second round. For your winner by TKO, out of the blue corner, it's Mike Pendlebury.
There you have it, folks. Mike Pendlebury, your winner. A great fight out of Disciple MMA. And another great night here at TCB. When we return, October 14th, Cagezilla, be sure to come by, check out the fights, hang out after at the Salisbury Center, and enjoy the company. Liam, you did fantastic. It was great to have you in the booth tonight. This was your debut, but it did not feel like it, man. Hats off to you. You did awesome. Chris Fuller with the play-by-play and ring announcing, very tremendous as always. My production team in the back, Scott, Kat, the whole crew, you guys are the best. And Pev hobbling around, man. Off crutches, moving well, and I will see you guys in a month at Cagezilla.
Like and subscribe to TCB.